Hello everybody and welcome to my NBA playoff predictions. I am recording this about 3 hours before the game starts. Let's just get right into it. Starting with the Thunder versus the Suns, obviously this is not even going to be a remotely close matchup. I don't know why I need to talk about it too longer. It's the defending champs versus a disappointing-ish, fine, really not good Suns team that barely made its way into the playoffs. This is not going to be close. Maybe the Thunder are bored one night and give them a game, but 0% chance that the Suns get even more than one game, Thunder in 4. Next is the Lakers versus the Rockets, and this is a very, very interesting matchup. I'll be honest, it's a Lakers team that did very, very well. You know, they made it all the way to the 4th seed with a potential MVP Luka because, you know, the NBA just made the ruling that even though he played under 65 games or whatever it is, that he could still get the in-season awards. He's probably not going to be playing in the playoffs. You know, maybe a Game 7 here, but that's just highly doubtful. He shouldn't do it anyway, no matter what. Same with Austin Reeves. But now it's down to LeBron James to carry a team like he's done almost his entire career, but this time he's 41, going up against a somewhat hot Rockets team that has won 9 of 10. Still, again, not a lot of chemistry in Houston. Maybe that picks up now that they're doing a bit better than they were before. You know, it's LeBron versus Kevin Durant for the first time since the 2018 finals. That's pretty fun. But the Lakers are just way too hurt. I could definitely see LeBron and maybe like a random role player pushing this to 6, maybe 7 games. And if you know Kevin Durant or Sengun or somebody, or is it Şengün? I forgot how to pronounce it. What if one of those guys goes down? I could see the Lakers winning the series, but that's still again a very, very low chance. I got the Rockets in 5 just to be safe, but I don't hate the Lakers' chances here, you know. I think they have a very, very low chance, but I think it's better than a lot of people may think. But Rockets should win this pretty easily. Rockets at 5. Next is a great matchup, the Nuggets versus the Timberwolves. And of course, it is MVP Nikola Jokic, and if he doesn't win the MVP, I would be absolutely shocked. They've matched up recently in the playoffs. However, this time, Anthony Edwards is dealing with a nagging injury. He did play pretty recently and scored like 20 plus points, but he's still not even going to be close to 100% no matter how many games this series goes. And I think that's going to be pretty much the deciding factor. I think the Timberwolves, with him, may have been able to push it to 7, maybe even win. It's just it's the Nuggets, man. I think they win in 6. I think the Timberwolves may be a little bit surprising in my opinion. Again, Timberwolves are not a bad team at all, and I think they could win the series. They just won't. The Nuggets have such a good team. They have MVP Jokic. They have his best supporting cast since their original championship team. This should be easy. Nuggets should be winning. I would be shocked if they don't, and I would also be shocked if Jokic doesn't win the goddamn MVP, but that's another conversation. Anyway, we got the Spurs versus the Trailblazers making the playoffs for the first time in 5 years. This could be fun. I think there's a lot of outcomes in this series. I think with the lack of experience of both teams, there's a possibility that this goes to 7 games. I would be unbelievably shocked if that happened. You know, just on a skill-based level, the Spurs are light years ahead of the Blazers. Spurs are just too good. I could see the Blazers pushing it to 6, but it's the Spurs. I think the Blazers will get one random game in Portland maybe, but I think it'll be Spurs in 5. Probably more likely a sweep, but Spurs should definitely be winning this game. Next is the Pistons versus the Magic. Also should not be really close. Magic, obviously a weird season, you know, going all in for Desmond Bane in a very weird situation, and they just have not, you know, gone all in. They're just not a contender at all. And Pistons should be absolutely deconstructing the Magic. I'm going Pistons in a sweep over the Magic. Should not be close. Next, in a awesome LeBronto Cavaliers versus Raptors matchup with no LeBron. I could see a lot of situations here. Cavaliers traded for James Harden, which means that their playoff and championship hopes immediately go down. That's just a statistical fact, and no matter if they were better or worse than before, they're now down because they have James Harden. But they still have a very good team around him. Cavaliers, I think, could make a run, potentially to the finals. I don't think they're getting past necessarily the Pistons, especially not the Celtics. And I could even see the Raptors winning here. The Raptors are such a weird team, though. They really shouldn't be here. The players that they have just are not a freaking 5th seed type of team. So I think they're still going to get a couple games somehow. But I think that the Cavaliers will be winning in 6. They're just a better team. They have so much more experience. I'm saying that the Raptors push it to 6, but they should not be winning the series by any means. Next up, we have a classic Trae Young versus the Knicks with no Trae Young, as it is the Hawks playing the 3 seed Knicks. This will be a very, very fun one in my opinion. Hawks got a new, young, shiny team that I think is going to be good in the future. They could absolutely make a run to the conference finals. I have no doubt about that being a decent possibility. The Knicks are very weird. They've been very inconsistent. They won their first championship or trophy or whatever it was in 50 years. They're not winning the finals this year. That's definitely not happening. They've just been way too inconsistent. They've been really, really good and really, really bad. They do usually, at least in recent years, lift their playoff performance. You know, they're better in the playoffs than they realistically should be. They also lose to teams that they shouldn't and beat teams that they also shouldn't. So this could easily go either way. But I think the main thing is that the Knicks just have experience. I'm going Knicks in 7, just because I could see the Hawks winning. I could see the Knicks potentially sweeping. I don't feel great about saying that. Maybe 5 or 6 games, but I got the Knicks in 7. They just have more experience. That's the main determining factor here. Knicks are not going much further than this, but they should beat the Hawks realistically. Next is the Celtics versus the 76ers. Man, how awesome would it be to see the Sixers beat the Celtics? Unfortunately, the Celtics are somewhat surprisingly really good, but they're also the Celtics, so of course they're fucking good. But with the Sixers likely not having Embiid, I just don't think they're going to be able to catch up to the Celtics. They're just not there. I think they get a game, maybe 2, but it's still the Celtics. Like, it's Jason Tatum, it's Jaylen Brown. They're back and they're very, very good. I would love the Sixers to win this series, but they're just not going to. Celtics in 5. Okay, now on to the conference semifinal, the second round. We have the Thunder versus the Rockets. Should not be close at all. I'm going to say that the Thunder lose 1 game, but even that I think is a stretch. I've got the Thunder in 5 to easily defeat the Rockets. It will not be close. And next is the Nuggets versus the Spurs, and this could go multiple ways in my opinion. The Nuggets with the experience, the MVP, probably one of their best teams since their championship a couple years ago, versus obviously the Victor Wembanyama Spurs in their early years. Pretty much no playoff experience at all. Obviously a very good team, and I think the Spurs, just being a good team, have the chance to make the finals. However, I am going to be selecting the Nuggets to win here. Again, I think this is going to be a playoff bracket decided by experience, and the Nuggets just have so much more experience. I think they're better. I think they're on par, if not slightly better, in terms of an actual team than the Spurs. But again, this will be a fantastic series. This could go either way, but I got the Nuggets in 7. Next is the Pistons versus the Cavaliers. I could see this going either way. I think the Pistons are just too good to lose to a team like the Cavaliers, but they also don't have necessarily a ton of playoff experience. The Cavaliers certainly have more. You know, James Harden has, made 17 straight playoffs, but he's also hasn't won anything in literally any of those. So I don't think I could see this being close. I'm gonna take the Pistons in 7. They're obviously a better team, but I could see the Cavs winning. I could definitely see the Cavaliers winning here. The Pistons are just a better team, so I'm going with them in 7. Next, the 2 freaking most hateable teams in the NBA, the New York Knicks, who don't win shit, and the Celtics that always win everything. What a paradox of a game. I hope that they both lose. This is a miserable matchup. I hate both of these teams. This sucks. If it was Hawks 76ers, this might have a chance to be one of the greatest playoffs of all time, but unfortunately we're probably going to get a dog shit matchup of the Knicks versus the Celtics. Well, the Celtics are probably going to win in 5. I could easily see them sweeping. This will not be close if this happens. The Knicks are just too inconsistent. Inconsistency does not win you anything in the playoffs. maybe a game against the Celtics. The Celtics are just too good. Maybe the inconsistency helps the Knicks, maybe they're just randomly good, but this should not be close. Celtics easily are unfortunately going back to the conference finals. Next up, the Thunder versus the Nuggets. Oh man, this is going to be a fantastic series. I have the Thunder only losing 1 game to this point. I have the Nuggets potentially losing 5 or 6 games up to this point. So these are going to be very different teams, very, very good, probably best team in the NBA, Thunder, versus the MVP in Jokic, a fantastic Nuggets team with plenty of experience. Obviously, the Thunder just won the finals last year, so they've been here before. And I just think that the Thunder are going to be too much for the Nuggets. Nuggets are going to be worn out if they get to this point. Thunder are going to have breezed by the Rockets and the Suns, and they would have breezed by the Lakers either way. The Thunder have such an easy road to the finals. I think this is going to be close. I'm going to put it at 7 games. I really, really like the Nuggets a lot. I think they're fantastic. I have no reason to believe against the Thunder, so I'm going with the Thunder here in 7 games. This could, honestly, they could win in 5, maybe even 4. That's cautionary, though. I don't think they're going to sweep them. But Thunder just too good. They're not going to be worn out. They're going to be ready. They've been here before. They know what to do in the big spots, and they're better anyway. Thunder have everything going for them. Nuggets could win, but Thunder are just too damn good. And they have a lottery pick too, so yay. And next is the quite likable, but still, I don't really know how much I like the Pistons versus the disgusting Boston Celtics. But this is a very interesting series. Pistons, not a lot of playoff experience. They're very, very good versus a Celtics team who has been here thousands of times before. They know what to do, and unfortunately, I do believe that the Celtics are going to beat the Pistons. I'm giving them 7 games, but Pistons may be better, but again, I think this is going to be a playoffs decided by experience, so I'm going with the Celtics. And this may be one of the worst possible finals matchups for NBA fans in general. I'm going with the Oklahoma City Thunder to repeat in 7 games. I'm not going to be surprised at all if anything else happens. This could have a potential to be quite a good playoffs, but Thunder are just too damn good, and I have 0 reason to suspect that they will not do the exact same thing that they did last year. Thunder winning back-to-back. And for total points in Game 1 of the NBA Finals, I am going with, let's just say, 221. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope you enjoyed. I'll see you next time. See ya.